how's it going? Sorry about the late video. It's so late. It's like been, I don't know, 11 days maybe. Got a bubbly here. Got some jalapeno poppers just as a frozen dinner. I didn't make them from scratch, but they're so good. I haven't them once before. And yeah, I don't really have an excuse for. So I'll tell you, I'm not making excuses. I have been busy. I've been busy moving into the new house. I could have put on a video nonetheless a few days ago, but I didn't. So sorry about that. But yeah. But without further ado, let's do. Yeah, I'm in that new house now. Without further ado, I'll do a little house tour. I did just take the pictures. I know some people like the videos, right? I think I did a video of actually one of the lazy Susans in the house, but it's hard if you just do videos because of the different areas of the house picture, rather than pictures, because then you have to time it correctly, and so what if the video is too short for what you have to say about that part of the house, about the backyard or whatever, or if it's too long, or you could always replay the video or stop the video at the end of what you're saying and stuff like that, but it makes it more difficult. It's just a lot easier when you're just showing pictures. I could have gone around from place to place in the house doing a video, but I wouldn't have been able to eat while doing that and stuff like that, and wouldn't have been able to use this microphone I'm using now. Would have had to use the built-in microphone on my camera, which is okay, but not great. So. But yeah, I'll get on to it now. So, this is the house that I just bought for, I think, $245,500 Canadian. I'm Canadian. I forget what year it's built, but it's got the one-car garage there. It's decent shape. I like the look of it, and yeah, it's kind of a downhill, which we thought at first that the water might pool up at the bottom of the hill and cause flooding issues and stuff like that, but apparently the house wasn't built yesterday, and there's been really no flooding issues so far, even though it's down the hill. But it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow, and don't go into the next. So it's got this kind of the tent shed thing going on right beside the house there. Not really sure what to do with that. I guess you could put a car in there, but I can already put one. I only have one vehicle, which is actually my parents' vehicle, and we can already put that in the garage there. But it's cool that I have this shed to my disposal, and now, so like I said, I'm in the house right now. So, you may notice it's got a new background, but now this is the inside of the garage. Pretty, not much to say. It's just kind of a garage, but we got the internet hooked up in there today. That's my modem router is. So it's been cool to be able to park in there, and because I'm in Canada, and part of Canada where it gets very cold and snowy in the winter. And winter's coming up right away. It's September 18th as I'm shooting this video. These jalapeno poppers are so good. And yeah, basically if you have your car outside without it being in a garage, the windows get all caked up with ice and stuff like that. You have to scrape off the windows in the morning, or just put the defrost on in the car, and you gotta time it out. So you start that about a half hour before you have to leave for work and stuff. That can be pretty tough. And let's see what else we got. Now, unfortunately, right now, there is. I'm living in a small town, right? And there is water, clean water sort of thing, hooked up to town, but not in all areas of the town. So this house isn't yet hooked up to town water. So my parents bought me this water cooler here. So we had to bring in water from outside of the house to drink, unfortunately. This house has a well, but the well water isn't that drinkable, so but it's okay. No, we got just the porch here, so pretty much have a porch as a closet and stuff. And let's see what else we got here. Okay, and then the kitchen. I'm sorry about. So as you can see, I made a mess already. Just moved in, but it's already a mess. But I'll clean up. I think pretty soon. They're pretty standard. In Canada, it's pretty standard. I don't know about the U.S. or other places. In fact, I know in China, where I was living for a couple of years teaching English. I think it was if you bought like an apartment or to actually own it, or maybe so that's called a condo. Sometimes you would move into it was just like concrete walls and stuff like that. Like you'd have to actually have the walls installed or install them yourself and install, get all the appliances and stuff like that. But this house is pretty much done and was done, but has the stove and the fridge. It's just good enough cabinet space. Not a huge kitchen, but probably enough room for me and stuff like that. So my mom helped me get all the kitchen towels and everything set up there. Living room here. I got my parents brought me that table there. The table they already had, and so that's good. The rest is probably the kind of there's no designated dining room, but kind of dining room, living room here. And my possession date was September 12th that I was handed the keys, but we were late on getting the internet installed, so the internet guy wasn't able to come until yesterday, the 17th of September. So I don't know if it shows, but I'm pretty much screwed without internet. I need my internet, so I decided to wait, and I was living with my parents until I was able to get the internet installed here. So last night was the first night I've at my house. Sorry about that, I'm burping. Let's see what else we got here. Here's the living room. So parents brought in a couple of chairs, and you can see in the far end of the living room there, that lamp in the background was gifted to me by the people who were the previous tenants of the apartment that I was living in before I moved into this house. So I have my computer chair there. That's where I'm sitting at this desk here, this white desk here. And I've got a nice window there. I'll show you the bigger picture of the window in a sec, but yeah, so the windows need to be replaced, unfortunately, or at least I'm not sure exactly if it's just the window on the left there or the window on the right. But they're yeah, need to be replaced, and we're gonna replace them. So my mom bought me this rug that you see there, but I think it's a bit too small. But see what else I was gonna say. But yeah, we were unscrewing the bolts on the desk, so it was in my apartment, right, where I was previously, and because we thought we needed to take it apart to get it through the door, but then we realized we could probably just take it through the door as it is. So but luckily we realized that before we took apart the entire desk. So we put the bolts back in and then just took it through the door of the apartment, sort of thing. And it's a standing desk, so right now, like you can, it has motors on it. You plug it into the wall, hit a button, and make it higher or lower and stuff like that. I can use it for a standing desk or sitting like I am right now. But we figured, like, we were out with the house, and the door frame's not very wide, but it was partially extended, so we hit the legs. So we plugged it in. Luckily, there was a nice place in the garage for that, and plugged it in the garage and lowered it all the way, and it just barely got through the front door without us having to take it apart. So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, moving was from my apartment was a hassle. I mean, at the time I was regretting something I'd done, basically, because when I moved into that apartment a couple years ago, right, there was the family that was living there, and they're like, we have all this furniture, we can sell you it and stuff like that. And then I agreed, and I bought it from them, and here's one of the dressers there, and but it was, at the time of buying the stuff, I thought that was a good idea. But when I was moving, where me and my parents were moving all that furniture, we had a hell of a time. I mean, there was a lot of furniture, and I think like 4 dressers and like 4 nightstands and stuff. And so I was like, man, did I make a mistake buying all this furniture? But now that's already in here, and this place is mostly furnished. I don't have a couch, but I'm feeling pretty good about that. I think it's a good idea, but it was a lot of work, yeah. Let's move on to the next year. Okay, now. This is the bathroom, pretty much standard bathroom there. It's good enough, and not too much to say about it. Got some cabinet space and stuff, got a mirror, and I'll show you, and I'll bounce around a little bit, sorry about this, but it's, I guess, how I uploaded my, I guess before I'm making this video kind of thing, I just upload a bunch of these pictures to Final Cut Pro, and the editing software I used for editing my videos, but some are kind of out of order, but excuse me, let's make the jalapeno. Here's the spare bedroom, and yeah, me and my parents were kind of debating whether or not we should move that. That's my old desk, which you may not have even seen, because back in the day when I did these ASMR videos, like before I got, well, I guess not that long ago, but I'm sorry, I feel like I'm talking so fast, but I feel like I talk a bit faster now that I'm off of the antipsychotic and antidepressant medication, which is going okay, by the way. But so that desk is the desk I had for like quite a while, and back in my apartment there, and that's what I used to do the ASMR videos on. But I got this new standing desk here that I'm using now, this one, and so we just weren't sure if we should bring it back to that desk you're seeing now in this picture to my apartment, or I'm sorry, to the new house, the house's house, or if we should take it right to the dump and throw it out. But that's the desk that's on the right there. The thing on the left is a dresser. But I said, you know what? Maybe I'll have a friend over who wants to actually use a desk and stuff like that. They're gonna stay here for a couple days. They want to get some work done on their laptop, whatever. They can use my Wi-Fi and stuff like that. Or I said maybe the times will get tough and I'll have to rent out this bedroom. This is the spare bedroom here, and so stuff like that. And but so I decided to bring it back. But I think probably a good decision, but we'll see. And there's a spare bed in there, just like a twin-size bed there. Kind of some nice curtains there on the window. And then it's got this. The house has got this like air circulation system. I forget what it's called, HRV or something, and which is cool. And no, sorry about that. Here, I just I'm going to turn this volume down, and then it's got this Lazy Susan here in the kitchen, which is pretty cool and saves space. I like Lazy Susans. It just spins around. You put your different stuff in there, and that's pretty cool. And here's the backyard, which has got like this, yeah, actually the picture, sorry about my finger being in the way of that picture there. It's, and that lawn chair was left there by the previous owners, and it's pretty, probably needs to be thrown out, but, oh, not a big deal, but, yeah, the deck is like pretty badly, like needs staining or something, but I don't mind. I don't even know if I'll do that because I don't care too much about how that looks. I mean, it's in the back and you can't really see it from the, you know. I think the front of the house looks nice. I think I was thinking that before, so, you know, maybe I'll have somebody stain it or stain it, but I don't know. But, and here's the backyard here. So it's not super big, but medium sized, I guess. I'm not sure how many square feet, but it's got the, then I'll show it, so that'll be nice. And, it's got the, here's a fire pit right in the backyard there, so that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to maybe having a bonfire there and with some friends. That'd be pretty cool, and maybe just have some, but you know what, I think I forgot to upload a couple pictures to this, so I'm just gonna go do that now. Okay, sorry about that. So, just got those missing pictures and started to bounce around, but, there's the bathtub shower here, so it's a bathtub shower. It's, pretty standard. Actually, I was being dumb and I had trouble turning it on for the first time, and I had to call my landlord, and he just walked me through it. And basically, I was trying to pull it outwards before twisting the handle, which you can't really do. So you gotta twist it first, and then pull it out. That's what she said. But now, if you take a look, this is my bedroom here. So not the spare bedroom, but my bedroom. Here's my bed and stuff, and got a dresser there, a nightstand, and stuff like that. You can see my little, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of hard to see, but we have this charger there from our phone. That got some curtains on the window. I like the curtains, actually. That's pretty cool on the window there. Got a rug going on that actually, it's a big rug that actually came with the apartment, and this apartment is just it's heated all through baseboard heaters, electric heaters. And, you know, as you can see below that window there, that's all the heating system is basically. There's no AC. Yeah. And let me just see here. And there is apparently the central vac, or these central vac outlets, by the way, which is interesting. But so you can plug your vacuum into the wall, sort of thing. But you know, we'll see how that goes. There's actually no carpets in here, which is interesting. So that's another thing. Well, I guess I have rugs now, but we'll see how. So they could come in handy, but we'll see. And here's the just right in front of me here, the living room window, which I just opened up the curtains there to show you. It's a pretty nice window there, right in the. It's pretty cool right in front of my desk there. It's pretty nice. So, and now we will. It's just 1 sec. But yeah, I mean, so all my stuff is moved out of the apartment, but the apartment still needs to be cleaned, basically. And I'm doing it the lazy way and the expensive way by hiring a cleaner. So in that apartment, there's a guy that I work with, and he works for the same resort as I do, and he works for the same resort as I do there. But he's he's a housekeeper, right? And just a professional cleaner. So I figured and I know him a bit, so I figured why not hire him and his wife to clean my apartment, because it needs to be done properly and stuff. And the landlord, like, she's pretty, like, I would say she's pretty strict on the cleaning. Like, she actually wants me to take out the light fixtures and, clean out the bugs that are in there and stuff like that. So it, it needs to be done properly. And so I figured just pay them. And so I'm paying at least two of them $230 plus a $25 tip, I think, or a $20 tip. Yeah, so it's a fair bit of money, but it's cleaning's hard work, and I like the guy, and he was very nice to me, and basically, what was I gonna say? And yeah, I figured, like he said, it's gonna take the two of them about 3 hours to do it. So I figured, bid them. But I got this also another note. I got this haircut here, and a buzz cut here, one faded on the sides today. Yeah, it's pretty good. Basically, at work, I'm a duty manager, and I'm supposed to be presentable looking, and I had the long hair or medium length hair, and I was just having a hell of a time controlling it and styling it up and making it not look messy. It was just looking messy all the time. I figured, you know what, I've got the receding hairline here. I'm getting older. I'm 36, and I think it, in some ways it does look better, because if I have long hair, it hides the receding hairline, and whatever it is, and I've got the big forehead, but ultimately I think this is the better look. It's just, especially because I'm not a fan of maintaining the hair and stuff like that, and you gotta watch it, because let's say you have a sauna at my parents' house later at night, I have a shower afterwards, of course, and maybe hop into bed, and then you have the wet hair, and then in the morning you have the bed head. Your hair's all messed up if you have the long hair, and then hopefully there's time to basically to fix that. In my opinion, you can't even comb that, to fix it. You have to take a shower, and that fixes it. But hopefully you have time to take a shower, because in the morning, right? So, but yeah, I just had the buzz cut. He was gonna charge me $15 for that, and I was like, that seemed pretty cheap, so I tipped him $10, paid $25, and said keep the change there. And but yeah, we had some good laughs, and it was a good time, because he used to work with me at the resort there. He was a bartender there, and yeah, we had some good laughs and had a good chat while he was cutting my hair and stuff like that. I think I like the look of it too. So, but yeah, I was a bit worried about with another note with the electrical thing going on, because I didn't know how it was going to work to go from my apartment, where I was paying out of pocket for the electrical, to this house here and stuff like that, because I went on the hydro website there, because it's I won't say what province I'm in, but yeah, it's done through a hydro electric dams. That's how they get their power there. And basically there was an option there to do it online kind of thing, but the option said, when did you hand your landlord your keys, from your previous apartment or house or whatever it is? And I was like, what? I haven't handed the keys in yet. I mean, because I still need to get that apartment cleaned, which is happening this Saturday. And then soon after that, I'm going to hand the keys in. And so it didn't really make sense. And but I took, the day of possession, I took a picture of the hydro or the electric meter there, and tried calling the electrical company there. Wasn't getting through, and I kind of left it a couple days, and I was worried there, but I called them on Monday there, and because basically I think you're supposed to submit a meter reading as soon as you move into the new place, which I didn't do, but the guy I worked with on the phone was very nice, and he's like, no problem, and he just asked me for the meter reading, that the picture I took, the date of possession and stuff like that. So it's no big deal, really. No, it got done, and I just, when I had him my keys, I have to call the hydro company again, and tell them I did that and stuff like that, and then they'll work it out. But let me just see. On another note, my mood swings kind of thing have calmed down a bit, and because for a while there I was on the antipsychotic and antidepressant medication and stuff like that, and I was weaning off of it, and then I went off it completely, and I thought it was just gonna be a quick thing, that didn't affect my mental health, but instead I was having like an entire day where I'd be irritable, and then a couple days later I'd have an entire day where I'd be angry, and the next day I'd have an entire day where I'd be having anxiety, and it was pretty tough, and it was tough on me for sure, but I'm feeling better generally now that I'm off the medication. I think I'm happier. But this anxiety and the anger and the irritability bullshit is pretty much mostly gone, I would say. It still comes and goes, but we'll see how it goes. But I think I do want to stay off the medication, but it's mostly subsided, that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to criticize people who rent, but for maybe their whole life. But I am glad at 36-year-old that I got this mortgage, and because I do want to eventually pay this all off, and then just pay the property taxes and utilities and have less expenses. And I mean, if I started, let's say I put this off for another 5 years or something like that, then it's like with a 25-year mortgage, maybe I would do my final payment at the age of 75 years old or something like that, which I don't really want. I want to retire maybe when I'm 65 years old or something like that. So then I'm hoping then I'll have the mortgage paid off, because I think was something I didn't think about when I basically did no planning for retirement before, and I was kind of a guy just blowing trying this and that and going around, and I don't know, but your income after you retire generally is less than your income when you're working. So especially later in your career, after maybe you gained some promotions and got some raises and stuff like that. So whether you're on the pension or just living off your investments after you retire and stuff like that. So you definitely want your expenses to be lower, I think, when you retire. So if you had your mortgage paid off, that would help. But yeah, I mean, even for renters, I don't necessarily see the renting as a bad thing, even too late in life, because it's arguable, right? Because let's say with a mortgage, if you get it paid off, you still have the property taxes, which I think are gonna be $2,700 Canadian for me. So that's the property tax, includes taxes for education and stuff like that, and so yeah, I mean, even that's that's a couple paychecks right there. That's a month's work, right there, just completely gone to property taxes right there, just a loan. And then there's other expenses involved, and you're still paying the utilities, and probably paying more utilities because you have bigger space than you would if you had an apartment. But it depends. Maybe you got a big apartment, but yeah, I think if I had some advice to if you're planning this sort of thing, and it might be able to, this before, I didn't understand much about amortization period, which I think is just how long your mortgage is and how long a typical mortgage is, and how much a good wage is at work, because I used to think $20 was a lot of money, and I was shooting for that. I was like, I get this English as a second language job, for $20 an hour, then I'll be set, but then you kind of realize, and a little bit later, moving out by yourself and stuff like that, and seeing the expenses, that's kind of not a lot of money, stuff like that, and I would just start taking things that aren't in your reality and start putting them into your reality and thinking this actually is possible for me if I work for it. Because before then, or you just play it by ear like I did, kind of thing, but you don't want to leave it too late, I would say, but basically what I'm saying is I never before getting promoted and stuff, and I'm not making big money now by any means, but I never really saw it in my reality that I'd be able to afford a house, you know what I mean? I went to university, and I thought I was going to be a physiotherapist and stuff like that, but then I bombed a few exams and stuff like that, and I started thinking about the GPA I needed to get into a physiotherapy program, which would be very high and stuff like that, and was slipping away from me. And then the military thing, I applied for the military and I was almost in, but my back gave out basically in one of the tests, and I had cold feet and had second thoughts, and didn't, I recovered, but I could have got bitten probably, but decided not to. But the military in Canada, it certainly is fairly well paying with the benefits, and you can buy a house and stuff like that. But if you do that, and I just saw it kind of like slipping away from my reality, and not really, and me not even knowing really how much a house costs and stuff like that, and saying that it's easier to do in a rural community than it is in the city and stuff like that. And I was told by my realtor out here that let me buy this house, and that in the city, this house that I'm in right now would have gotten about 12 offers already. So yeah, but I was the only one who made the offer on this house and stuff like that. So there's some stuff like that. So just rather than just being like, well, this is not in my reality, and I can't achieve this, being like, maybe it is in my reality, I just need to make some changes. I wasn't predicted when I first started as a front desk agent at this job. I was just looking for any job basically that would help me get out of debt to my parents, and just give me some spending money and help me get over the guilt I felt from being unemployed for about a year. I wasn't on welfare, but I was living on my savings, and then ran out of the savings, and I moved in with my parents and stuff like that in my 30s, and I wasn't feeling, I wasn't feeling that proud about that. So, yeah, I think I've said this before, but yeah, at first I wasn't, and I found myself able to, I was like, maybe I can afford an apartment, but then I applied, and the landlord was like, Matt, I know how much you make, you put that on your application, and, it's, it might be doable, but you get worried because your expenses are probably going to be over half your income, and that's kind of worries us when your expenses are so, such a big percentage of your income there, sort of thing, and we worry that maybe you won't be able to pay your rent and stuff like that, but I pay my rent every month, by myself, and I never had to ask my parents for money and stuff like that. But yeah, that was just, it's interesting how it happened, and then got promoted and found this job, and I got promoted to this job as a duty manager, and which, yeah, I'm not rich and not making a huge income, but it's interesting that I'm able to afford a house that's damn near $250,000 out here, and so something, it might be possible for you, right? So you might not think that you can move up the ladder in your job. Maybe you can. You might not think that you can afford a house or afford something, but maybe you can. And so it's interesting. But let me just see here. But fall is nice though. It's nice being in it being fall and not the summer anymore. Because when I'm driving from my apartment to work, I was making this left-hand turn every day, and at this intersection on the highway there, and you really have to worry about getting T-boned now. It's like, it's gone so busy in this, what do you call it, resort, I forget what the word for it is, but it's right next to a national park and stuff like that, and it gets hella busy in the summer, but not so busy in the off-season, and it just, the whole area gets the volume turned down, a bit, and you have to worry, like, making that turn, there's no stoplights there, and probably because they think it's a rural community, so they don't need it, but I don't know if they probably should put some stoplights there now, because it's just, by the time you get the lanes closest to you, past, the cars pass from that lane, you wait for that to happen, and then you got the cars, going the other direction in the other lane to worry about, you have to wait for them, and, sort of thing, and, yeah, and you have to make some hasty moves sometimes just to get through, and, but now, less people are coming to resort, but, well, I don't know, like, so less of the families are coming out with their kids and stuff like that, because their kids are in school now, so they were coming out in the summer, but now it's it's banquet season at the resort right now. We're also a conference center, and we just have these conferences, and we set up the conference rooms with tables and chairs with nice tablecloths and wine glasses and stuff like that, and maybe a projector screen and stuff like that with a projector and some pens and pads, and they have their conference in there, right? We do a coffee service in there, maybe we do a buffet in there for them with a meal. They can have a hotel room or some chalets, hotel rooms and chalets and stuff like that, and get a lower price in the hotel rooms since there's so many of them coming, and conference sales can give them, the department can give them a lower price and stuff like that, and it's just spending so much money, and so but it's one thing I don't know, I'll find out, it'll be telling when I go back to work on tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m., if I supplied, because I'm the Pepsi guy. We work, our supplier is Pepsi for the pop and for the juice, and we use juice for the banquets, and we'll see if I provided the house persons who to bring the juice from the juice room to the banquets and for the guests and conference rooms, and we'll see if I did, because you think you're on easy mode now because the resort's slowing down, but it's just like boom, 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 the conferences come in, and it's like a lot of them, and they go through a hell of a lot of juice, so we'll see. I did order some more juice, which should have showed up on Wednesday there, but yesterday, but it's Thursday now. But I was worried about that, but this house, my parents helped me a lot, and they helped me with the down payment, and I put 30 grand of my money in, they put 25 grand of theirs money in, but I have to pay them back for that 25 grand, so, and I will pay them back, but and they helped me out with a lot of stuff, like booking these windows in the living room there to get replaced and stuff like that, and booking and getting insurance with the house and fire insurance and stuff like that. But it was like a job in itself. I was dealing with a credit union there, and she the lady from the credit union, she said send me an email, and she's like, so she replied to my email about the life insurance. I said I'm not really interested in life insurance, and she was like, okay. So she's like, I'll send you a form on the email, then you can fill it out. I'm like, I was just gonna work, I was heading into work and stuff, but I don't know if I told her that, and I didn't really know what the form was about. I was like, okay, I'll take a look, and the form came in, and I didn't really understand it, but it was about life insurance, but then she sent me like 2 or 3 emails right away after, about half an hour, but I started working, I was dealing with like pretty important stuff, and to do with the conferences, she's like, did you sign the form and stuff like that, but then I gave her a call, and she kind of sassed me a bit, and she's like, the form, you say you don't want life insurance, the form is to waive the life insurance. So I had to fill out a form just to put my electronic signature on there about 5 times, just to say no to life insurance. I don't understand why I couldn't just, I was telling her on the phone, I'm not interested in life insurance, but she wanted me to sign this form just to say I'm not interested in their life insurance, but life insurance for me, but I still like it because she did give me the mortgage, and especially because I'm the only person with an income in this house, and I'm living here alone, and I don't have the high income, so, and it's not, this house isn't the Taj Mahal, and it's not the most expensive house, but still, for me to get a mortgage, based on not having the big income from her is pretty, I'm still thankful for that. Like I said in, I think my previous video, like if we hadn't gotten 20% down payment, she said, which is pretty high, she would have denied my application for the mortgage, so I'm thankful for that, but like the other day, a bear came into the yard there, ate a bunch of crab apples, and I had this crab apple tree out front, and broke one of the branches badly, and right at the base of the, it was attached to one of the bases of the base stems or whatever of the tree. Took a huge shit in the yard right by the crab apple tree, stuff like that, so we had to clean it up and saw off the branch, so that kind of sucked, but I've eaten some of the crab apples and they're pretty good, but I mean, I've been watching this bodybuilder like Jay Cutler. He was kind of retired now, but and professional bodybuilder there, and he was working out, and he said, he's working out, he's doing some shoulder shrugs and stuff like that with some heavy dumbbells, and working on his traps here, and he said, whatever it is, I'll do it. I gotta win, so that's something we can take into mind. I mean, it's not getting this house. My parents helped me out so much with it, and it was you started my realtor, but I mean, I don't want to sound like it was the most difficult thing in the world, but it was a lot of work. There was meeting with lawyers, and I had to the law. There's no law office really, I don't think, in this town, so we had to drive to a nearby city, meet my parents, and it was just an hour away. And I had to work that day, and we were up at 8 o'clock in the morning for that 9 o'clock appointment, and I got no sleep, and I was sleeping in the car on the way there. I slept in the car on the way back, so I got 2 hours of sleep, and that was my 7th day of work. And we went into that law office, and we were signing the papers, and while I was signing the papers, and there was the insurance and the getting the appraiser who came in here and assessed the value of the home, and so that if he could take it back from us, if I stopped making my mortgage payments, and if we'd be able to resell the house and get the money back to the credit union, and we had to hire the inspector, and the inspector found that there's problems. We had to hire the glass guy, and there was just a lot of my parents helped with, but it was a lot of stuff, just meeting with the realtor and all that moving, but sometimes you just gotta do whatever it takes. So whatever it takes, it doesn't matter. My hair was getting a mess, and I put that off, even though I was supposed to be presentable at my job, and because the haircut, I mean, I was going to the nearby city all the way for the lawyer appointment, and my lady from the credit union pestering me about the life insurance thing I told you about, and there was just so much to do. I felt that I should put off the haircut, and but so whatever it is, I mean, let's see what else is there. But yeah, I think about it a little different now that I prioritize money a little more, like that Bali trip that I went on a year or two ago, wherever it was, and I spent a huge amount of money on that, but it was pretty irresponsible of me, especially because, I mean, I'm using my parents' vehicle, and now I have the goal to buy my own vehicle, but when I didn't have this, I didn't realize, I guess, that the house could be my reality, if that's something I could actually do. So I felt that I didn't really need that much money. I felt like I had, if anything, not too much money, but, you get $25,000 saved up in your bank account, and you think you're rich or something like that, because you're like, I'm not going to buy a house anyway because I can't afford it, so what else am I going to do with this money? And, I guess I'll just use my parents' vehicle and go to Bali and fucking, and have a good time on the beaches and whatever, and go have a fling with the girl in there, but now I realize, like, I really should have, now, like, I want to buy my own vehicle and buy some, there's no washing machine. I don't know if you saw that, a washing machine or a dryer in here, and I don't want to have to haul my clothes to my parents' place every week and stuff like that. I don't want to be able to do that here and stuff like that. And I want to be able to pay my parents back. I'm going to pay my parents back off for this down payment and other expenses and stuff like that. But I was listening to this song by Nelly, the rapper. And I don't know if you know Nelly if you're pretty young, but he was a big rapper in the day, but he has a song called Heart of a Champion, and he says in the line, it's a beautiful song, really. I really recommend listening to it, but he says, I'm gonna get what I can and more, even if my blood, my sweat, and my tears don't mean nothing. That's a great line from the start, but the part that I like best is right at the end of it. He says, even if my blood and my sweat and my tears don't mean nothing. So it doesn't, like, that's the way I kind of look at life. Like, if I sweat, if I cry, if there's blood, you know, through my efforts. And at the end, it means absolutely nothing. And I don't, maybe let's say I didn't get the house. Let's say I'm not able to find a life partner. Let's say I'm not able to have a kid. Let's say I get fired, you know, and it doesn't matter. Like the point is that you try. That's the whole point. That's my mindset. That's the way I got about life now. And I believe those things will happen. You know, minus getting fired, that could happen. But maybe the Jews thing will get me fired. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But you know, it's the effort is that you put towards achieving your goals. I think is the most important thing. It should be put. Maybe your family's health should come first and stuff like that. But like you just gotta give it everything you got. That's what you gotta do. You just gotta get it everything you got. Just fuck it, everything you got, and whatever it takes. And but I think that's about all for now. So thank